Coming at you from not a different angle, I just fixed the background, although this took a lot of effort. So welcome to this video. This is a video where I'm going to talk about my statistics for my books and my movies of 2019. This is the first time I'm doing this video, and I'm doing this video for multiple reasons. One, I'm a nerd and I love statistics, and I finally actually was like keeping track of statistics throughout the year on the books that I read and the movies that I watched, and I kind of want to share that with you. But also, I got this idea too from BooksandLala. I love watching her statistic videos, and I was like, why not me do one? And so that's why I also decided to keep track of my statistics so I could do a video like this, because I absolutely love watching these types of videos, and I actually really enjoyed keeping track of the statistics this year. It kind of helped me see what it is that I'm reading and what it is that I'm watching, and then from there can kind of figure out what goals I want to set for 2020 of things that I want to read and things that I want to watch. That is what this video is. I'm going to start with books. So behind me, you can't see all of them, but behind me are all the books that I read this year. The ones that you don't see the spine of them, it's because I don't have that book anymore. I don't have a physical copy of it. So that's supposed to replace it. But let's go over the statistics for the books first, and then we'll do the movies. So now how I'm going to do this, I'm actually going to start by just showing you every single book that I read and their star rating, and then I will go into the statistics. So let's first start with the first book that I read for the year. Okay, so the first book that I read was Maybe Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. In the Afterlife by Alexandra Bracken, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. As You Like It by William Shakespeare, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. The Picture of Dorian Gray, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Night Tiger by Yangtze Chu, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Thief Lord by Cornelia Funke, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Dead Queens Club, which I gave 1.5 out of 5 stars. This Is What Happy Looks Like by Jennifer E. Smith, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. What is the Bible by Rob Bell, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Quidditch Through the Ages, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and Tales of the Beetle Bard, which I didn't give any star ratings. I felt weird rating these. I didn't quite know how to rate them, but I did read them. A Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy by Cassandra Clare, Sarah Rees Brennan, Maureen Johnson, and Robin Wasserman, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Sense and Sensibility by, I believe, Jane Austen, which I gave 1 out of 5 stars. Death of a Salesman by Arthur Miller, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Shakespeare, A Companion, not quite sure who the author is, so I'm just going to say it's by SparkNotes, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Love Wins by Rob Bell, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Surprise, surprise. Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Why We Broke Up by 2 people whose names I cannot remember. I did DNF this one. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Much Ado About Mean Girls by Ian Doescher, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Aru Shah and the Song of Death by Roshni Chokshi, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Stardust by Neil Gaiman, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Saga Volume 8 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Macbeth by William Shakespeare, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Enchantée by Gita Trelease, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Royal Danish Egg by Barb Goodwin and Doug Pennicus, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Girl, Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Birthday by Meredith Russo, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuville, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Comedy of Errors by William Shakespeare, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Saga Volume 9, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Long Way Down by, I believe, Jason Reynolds. I think that's right. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Field Notes on Love by Jennifer E. Smith, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. License to Quill by, I'm so gonna butcher this, but Jacopo della Corsiera. I feel like I butchered that, but I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Get Thee Back to the Future by Ian Doescher, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Well Met by Jen DeLuca, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Little Mermaid and Other Fairy Tales by Hans Christian Andersen, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Piper by Jay Asher and Jessica Freeberg, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Pumpkinheads by Rainbow Rowell, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. His Hideous Heart, which is a collection of short stories all written by different authors, but it's edited by someone whose name I can't remember. I gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars. Othello by William Shakespeare, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Night Film by Marisha Pessl, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Anna and the Apocalypse by Catherine Turner and Barry Waldo, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Final Girls by Riley Sager, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Bloom by 2 people whose names I cannot remember. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. Hurricane Season by Nicole Melleby, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Build Your Own Christmas Movie Romance by Rain Conk. I probably totally butchered that name, but I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Girl Online Going Solo by Zoe Sugg, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Xmas by Kate Bryan, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Tanya's Christmas by Tanya Burr, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Antony and Cleopatra by William Shakespeare, 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then the last book I read, Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeyemi, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. That is it. Those are all the books that I read for this year. I read a total of 80 books, and my goal was to read 80 books, so I accomplished it, and I'm super happy and super proud of myself. So my goal for next year is to read 82 books. Now for the statistics portion of this video, I'm kind of going to do it like how BooksandLala does it, because I really like the way she displays the statistics. I'm not going to go as in-depth as she pretty much does, but I really like how she films her statistics videos, so I think I'm going to try and do it like that. But let's go into the first statistic, which is going to be just showing you all the months and trying to figure out which is my best month and which is my worst month. So here are the books that I read in January, in February, in March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. Now my best month was definitely March with 14 books. That was crazy. And then my worst month was definitely June. I only read 2 books and they were both very short books. I was in a huge reading slump in June, so it really frickin' sucked. Let's also look at format. So I really like looking at how many hardcovers versus paperbacks that I read. So I read a total of 28 hardcovers and 52 paperbacks, which honestly seems accurate to me. I tend to prefer paperbacks over hardcovers. I don't know why, I just not a huge fan of holding a hardcover book. I much prefer holding a paperback in my hands. Let's talk about the age range for my books. I read a total of 42 adult books, 28 young adult books, and 10 middle grade. This is actually quite surprising to me because I thought I normally read young adult books, but it looks like I read more adult books, which is really good. I kind of want to make this more even. I want to read like the same amount of adult and young adult books. Middle grade I don't really care too much about. I'll read if I feel like it, but I care more about the adult and the young adult aspect of this statistic. Now let's also look at publication year. I only read 21 books that came out in 2019. All the rest were backlisted, so I read 59 books that were not published in 2019. I do want to be better at this actually, because I know there are a lot of books that didn't come out in 2019 that I really want to read, but I kind of want to read more books that come out in the actual year that it's published so I can be more up to date with books. So that's something I definitely want to try and work on for the year 2020. So now let's look at gender of the authors. I read a total of 34 books written by males, 42 books written by females, and 4 books that were written by both males and females. Editing Ellen here, I accidentally made a mistake in the counting. It is not what you think it is for males, females, and both. The males is still the same with 34, but females it's actually 40, and for both male and female it's actually 6. So I screwed up a little bit. Another statistic to look at is the page count. So the shortest book that I read was The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I do not own this one anymore, but the version that I had was 76 pages, so that was the shortest book that I read. And then the longest book that I read was Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows by J.K. Rowling with 759 pages. This is definitely no surprise, no surprise. Also, I know I gave this 5 out of 5 stars, but I feel like I need to mention when my top 10 comes out, you're not going to see this in my top 10 or anywhere in that. Spoiler, just because I kind of technically put this in my 2018 top 10 because I read most of this book in 2018, to be honest. So I counted it in my 2018, but I finished it in 2019. The total amount of pages that I read was 22,995 pages. I was so freaking close to 23,000 pages, and I'm so mad at myself that I didn't make it further. So I guess a goal for me next year for 2020 is going to be to read up to 23,000 pages. I want to get to that 23 mark. I can't believe I was only 5 pages away. But that pretty much averages out to 63 pages a day that I read, which is honestly amazing. My goal is to usually read at least 50 pages a day. So the fact that I read above that, I'm like really proud of that. So go me. I guess now my goal for 2020, let's aim for like 65 pages a day. Now let's talk about genres. This is going to be an interesting one to look at. I didn't keep track too well of genres, so it's going to be a little bit messy and more of like a guesstimate for some of these, but just bear with me. The category that I read the most from is honestly no surprise to me. It's fantasy with 17 books. And then right under that with 16 books is contemporary. And then I read 13 plays, which is not a surprise to me just because I gave myself a goal in 2019 to read at least one Shakespeare play each month. So that is no surprise that I've read that many plays. Other genres that I've read are humor with 3 books in the humor section. Romance, I read 8 books. And then sci-fi is 5 books, mystery is 2, thriller is 3, horror is 3, historical fiction is 2, which I'm quite surprised with. I love historical fiction, so I'm kind of upset that I didn't read a whole lot of historical fiction in 2019. So that's something I definitely want to try and fix for 2020. Then I also read 7 nonfiction books and then 1 poetry. So I'm actually quite happy with my stars for books. I read more good books than bad books, I guess, in my opinion. So I read 1 1-star, 2 1.5 stars, 5 2 stars, 1 2.5 star, 17 3 stars, 9 3.5 stars, 16 4 stars, 13 4.5 stars, and 13 5 stars. I am very happy with that list, and so my average for the whole year is 3.7 stars. Which is great. I usually like to be at 3.5. So I guess my new goal for 2020 would be to get to that. I mean, it's hard to be at 4 stars for the year. Let's just try again for 3.7 then for 2020. Why not? So that is it for the statistics on the books. Let's move on to the statistics for my movies. Hi guys. It's a new day. New me. I did not realize that filming just the book statistics are going to take as long as it did, so I had to add a second day and talk about movie statistics and film this one on a different day. It also is technically a new me because yesterday was my birthday, so a year older today. So we're gonna now talk about the movie statistics portion of this video. So I'm gonna start off by just listing every single movie that I watched and my star rating that I gave them, and then we'll go actually in depth with the statistics and talk about them. Also, movies behind me. They're the ones that I have watched. If the black side is showing, those are movies I've watched that I do not own. So I didn't know how else to visualize them, because I also like to visualize these statistics, as I said in the book one. I don't think it's going to look as cool as the book one, just because there are so many of these black ones where you can't actually see the movie. But we're going to try and show you the stats visually, because I think it helps to see them visually, for me at least. But anyway, let's just get into every single movie that I watched in the year of 2019. Holmes and Watson, which I gave 1 out of 5 stars. On the Basis of Sex, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Escape Room, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Upside, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Kid Who Would Be King, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Lego Movie 2, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. What Men Want, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Lots of 4s. Happy Death Day, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Isn't It Romantic, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Kim Possible, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Happy Death Day to You, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. How to Train Your Dragon 2, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. How to Train Your Dragon 3, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Alita Battle Angel, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. 5 Feet Apart, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Dumbo, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Shazam, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Best of Enemies, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I really like those 4s. Little, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. The Perfect Date, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Breakthrough, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Teen Beach Movie, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Teen Beach 2, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Long Shot, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Last Summer, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. The Hustle, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. The Sun Is Also a Star, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Pokemon Detective Pikachu, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Booksmart, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Aladdin, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Rocketman, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Murder Mystery, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Late Night, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Men in Black International, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Toy Story 4, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Chasing Happiness, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Yesterday, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Always Be My Maybe, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Stuber, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. The Lion King, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Descendants 3, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Dora and the Lost City of Gold, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Peanut Butter Falcon, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The Kitchen, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Blinded by the Light, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Falling in Love, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Brittany Runs a Marathon, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Downton Abbey, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Good Boys, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Goldfinch, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Abominable, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Jexy, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Gemini Man, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Zombieland Double Tap, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. A Monster Calls, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Jojo Rabbit, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Current War, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. The Lighthouse, I gave 1 out of 5 stars. Split, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The King, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Arctic Dogs, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Holiday in the Wild, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Harriet, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Midway, which I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Let It Snow, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Motherless Brooklyn, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Last Christmas, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Noelle, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Knives Out, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Honey Boy, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Klaus, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Charlie's Angels, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Report, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. Elliot the Littlest Reindeer, I gave 1.5 out of 5 stars. The Night Before Christmas, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Frozen 2, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. The Ref, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Star Wars A New Hope, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Right Before Christmas, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars. A Christmas Movie Christmas, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Now we're going to get into December, which I haven't come out with my December wrap-ups yet, so this is going to be all spoilers for the December wrap-up. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Star Wars Return of the Jedi, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Christmas Wishes and Mistletoe Kisses, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. A Christmas Prince, The Royal Baby, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Dark Waters, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. The Christmas Club, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Check In to Christmas, I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Marriage Story, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. A Cinderella Story, A Christmas Wish, I gave 1 out of 5 stars. Parasite, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Jumanji: The Next Level, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Christmas Made to Order, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Star Wars: Attack of the Clones, I gave 1.5 out of 5 stars. Star Wars: Revenge of the Sith, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Richard Jewell, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Cats, I gave 1.5 out of 5 stars. Road to Christmas, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Star Wars: The Last Jedi, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Spies in Disguise, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. The Aeronauts, I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Angela's Christmas, which I gave 2 out of 5 stars. Bombshell, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Little Women, I gave 4.5 out of 5 stars. And last but not least, I gave Dolomite Is My Name 3.5 out of 5 stars. Now let's move on to statistics. Okay, so let's start with the big one. So my goal for the year was to watch 100 movies, and I ended up watching 108. So I surpassed it, and I'm super, super happy about that. So now next year, my goal is to watch 110 movies. Let's see if I can do it. Okay, let's talk about, let's start with the years of when the movies came out. So I did primarily watch 2019 releases. I watched 91 of them, and then I watched 17 movies that did not come out in 2019, and those were mainly Star Wars movies. Now for gender, as in like the gender of the directors, again, I primarily watched male-directed movies because the industry is primarily male directors. So I watched 89 movies that were directed by males. I watched 18 movies that were directed by females, and just 1 movie that was directed by both a male and a female. So now let's go on to lengths of the movies. The shortest movie that I watched was Angela's Christmas. It was 30 minutes long, so very short. And then the longest movie that I watched was 161 minutes. That was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Total, I watched 11,772 minutes of movies. I did not break that up into hours. What is that hours-wise? Okay, so that's like 196.2 hours of movies that I watched. Interesting. So that averages out to about like 32 minutes a day. Obviously I did not watch 32 minutes of a movie in one day, but that's just like a fun little thing to like break it up and see it. So yeah, so I watched around like 32 minutes of movies a day. There is a statistic that I did not keep track of this year, and I don't know why I didn't keep track of it, but I will be keeping track of it for 2020, and that's the ratings of movies. I don't know why I didn't keep track of like what movies I watched and what they were rated, and so I know like how many R-rated movies I watched or how many PG-13 movies I watched. So that's something I want to keep track of for next year. So sorry if that's a statistic that you're really looking forward to and it's not here. I'm sorry. But I do have another statistic, and that is genre. This is a tough one to keep track of just because movies mainly are more than just one genre. And so for a while I was just choosing whatever the first genre was listed on IMDb, but most of the time I didn't actually agree with that. Like I was like, yeah, I mean it is a comedy, but I feel like it's more a romance or this, but that's just what I was listing it as. So keep this with like a grain of salt, I guess, because I'm going to try to do a better job of keeping track of that for 2020, but I did not do that great of a job with genres for this year, so I did my best, but it might be completely wrong. So the genre that I watched the most of is not a surprise at all to me, but that is romance. I watched 21 romance movies. And then right under that is comedy. I watched 19 comedy movies. And then I have 14 adventure movies, 9 action movies. I have 11 fantasy sci-fi movies, 12 biographies, 3 musicals, 1 documentary, 11 dramas, 1 thriller, 2 crimes, 1 family. It was a weird movie. I had no idea how to put a genre to that one. And so I looked up on IMDb and it literally only had family, and I was like, okay, I guess it's gonna be family as the genre. And then 3 horrors, which is surprising because I don't like to watch any horrors. So we'll see what genres will be like for 2020 when I keep a better track of it. Now let's move on to the last statistic, which is going to be stars. I, as you are probably not surprised, I watched mainly 4 stars. I watched about 35 movies that I rated 4 stars. So that was definitely the most, but let's check out all of them. I gave 3 movies 1 star. I gave 3 movies 1.5 stars. I gave 10 movies 2 stars. 7 movies 2.5 stars. 15 movies 3 stars. 11 movies 3.5 stars. 14 movies 4.5 stars. And 10 movies 5 stars. So it's kind of upsetting I didn't give any more 5 stars, although I will say, looking back at some of the ratings that I gave some movies, I kind of want to change them because I've changed my mind about certain things, so this actually might be a little bit different. So I'll try and keep better track of that in 2020 when I ever like change my rating for a movie to have my statistics reflect that rating rather than the rating I gave it when I first watched it. You know what I mean? My average rating is 3.5, which is honestly where I like it to be. I don't like it to be anywhere below 3.5. I would prefer, I guess, to be a little bit higher, but like 3.5 is definitely my like minimum that I want my average is to be. So that actually works out perfectly that my average is 3.5. Okay, and that is it for the movie statistics. That's also it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it because I actually have a lot of fun coming up with these statistics and like seeing them. So keep staying tuned. I will be having like a top 10 movie, book, and as well as TV show list for 2019. I didn't keep track of statistics for TV shows. I felt like that would have been weird, or how to even keep track of statistics for that. I don't know. But that is it for this video, and I will see you guys later with more videos. Bye!